Hello, and family. Hope everyone is doing good. I have noticed from a long time, especially like from last 2 to 3 weeks, I'm receiving a lot of inquiry about one particular topic, and that is if a couple is married and the spouse is in Canada or spouse is not in Canada, can I able to submit unaccompanied spouse PR? So before I go into the topic of what is the solution, what are the reasons behind it, why it can go into the procedural fairness, let me tell you the background of it, like how this whole conversation or the rumors was generated or this topic was initiated. The IRCC consultant do have a forum, which is a KPEC. Every consultant, whenever they face any kind of difficulties, whenever they see something new coming in the immigration, they post an email. One of the IRCC consultant had received a procedural fairness letter where it was mentioned that applicant whose unaccompanied spouse PR CRS point is around 540 points. And if the applicant add the spouse without any IELTS, education or Canadian work experience, score dropped directly around 508 point. And the draw was something was happened around 521 something. So the CIC officer considered that because the spouse is living in Canada, it is something called as a misrepresentation where the client intentionally trying to not include the spouse so that the score can increase, the primary applicant can get a PR, and later on they might be doing a PR sponsorship. So this is the context, what the refusal letter, what we have seen. And after that came a lot of immigration consultants, lawyers, everyone now started to talk about it. And now what's happening is, if you go to any immigration consultant or lawyer, now it's their responsibility, or even if you do the application by yourself, it is your responsibility to explain that why, even though your spouse is in Canada, you are married, you are common law, why you don't want to include the applicant to the current PR application. CIC is looking for an explanation. So when I'm talking about the explanation, even if someone is genuine, like for example, if the primary applicant is there who is not doing well with the family, or if someone is on common law, or if someone's partner is not in Canada, or even some of the cases where people are doing reverse migration to Dubai, to Singapore, to India, to like a lot of other countries because they are getting a lot more opportunity. So in that kind of scenario, definitely maybe one of the couple has not yet decided that, okay, whether they wanted to get a PR or not. Let me make it one thing clear. IRCC is not the villain. It's not like, okay, if one application is get refused, all the application will be getting refused in the same way. Yeah, there might be one or two cases where the CIC officer feel that, no, this is not genuine, let's raise a procedural fairness letter, there can be a refusal. But now, in Canada, let's start from a logical reason, then let's go to a legal side, okay? Logical reason is, the background which we belong, that is from India, from Pakistan, from Philippines, yeah, there's something, it's very common that husband and wife, one person make a decision, other person follows that. But now, we live in Canada where it's again, the primary applicants or the one of the individual have all the rights to make their own decisions. And in the same way, if the primary applicant decides that, no, I don't want my dependent applicant or my dependents to get involved in my PR application, totally, it's the decision of the primary applicant. Again, that is your personal choice. However, when you're looking into a personal choice, also there is something called as you need to explain that to the CIC officer so that the CIC officer can know, okay, what is the reason behind it. Nowadays, that honeymoon period of the immigration is done. In 2024 and from now, what we are noticing is CIC is getting a little bit more strict on the immigration application, even if it is a temporary PR or any sort of application. So now, to Can family member, if you are doing your own application, is try to put an application by yourself, but always include a statement of purpose or explanation letter to explain if there is any scenario change, any kind of complication, any kind of document missing. But now, what I'm also noticing in many of the applications is that when you go through any immigration firm, when the immigration consultant, lawyers, in the legal terms, there is something called as a submission letter. Every immigration representative or a legal representative do have a protocol that whenever they do an application, there need to be a submission letter, which is basically explaining the background of the applicant, which definitely help the CIC officer to understand the case in well manner and make the decision as per that. But when most of the immigration firms or the legal representative are not doing that, or if you are doing the application through an agent, that is missing. The CIC officer need to make a judgment based upon the submitted document. And that is something where you are seeing this kind of rumors coming up that, no, you cannot do unaccompanied spouse PR now because now you get a refusal. No, You can still do the unaccompanied spouse PR application. As per the IRPA, there is a regulation which says that you can do that, and that's why that process is there. But please don't try to take advantage of that particular process. Kindly put a genuine explanation letter if you're going with the unaccompanied spouse, just to make it clear that yes, this is the reason why my husband is not looking for the PR at this point. Later on down the road, if something changes, we will let you know. Also, when you do unaccompanied spouse PR, if someone who know about the PR portal definitely can tell this. If your spouse, you say that not accompany, in the PR express entry portal, it asks you for the reason. And let me tell you, most of the legal representative or most of the people who do the PR by themselves do not put a proper reasoning there too. It just say that not looking for the PR at this point. Very weak. That is the main reason to getting a refusal or a person fairness letter. Please note, we live in the era right now where people are trying to sell fear so that you will believe that you cannot able to do the application by yourself and you started to spend money on something which you can do by yourself. But please, to avoid any complication, to avoid getting any kind of procedural fairness letter, include an explanation letter, include a statement of purpose, or if you are going through an immigration firm, a licensed immigration consultant or lawyer, it's their responsibility to include a submission letter. I really wish this video reached as much as possible to those immigrants who call themselves as a part of a CAN family, because my genuine intention is really to make the immigration simple and let you know the truth behind the rumors or this kind of negative news which is circulating. I hope by watching this video, you might have understood what is the actual reason and how you can tackle the situation, which is most important. But still, if you have any doubts or you know anyone who have a similar kind of case and they have any doubts or question, comment below. If you comment below, definitely my team will get back to you with a proper answer. And let's start the conversation on a social media in a very healthy way so that you or your representative or anyone who's watching this video can make a decision whether it is illegal to apply for an unaccompanied spouse or it is just a lack of documentation which is leading to procedural fairness letter or this sort of refusal. With this note, see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.